Hey everybody, before we get into today's show, just want to make sure you are aware that we are giving away the very popular dairy and gluten support. This is the product that helps you break down the breads and the pastas and the cheese and the milk and all of the different ice creams and all the different, flex-based foods you may be enjoying for the summer. It also helps break down beans and legumes and any products that can give you the bloating, the gas, the indigestion. And that is because it contains a higher dosage than even the daily digestive enzyme that you can take on a daily basis, but this helps with the DPP4, the lactase, the hemicellulase, all the things that can help to break down and give you less issues of the bloating, the gas, the skin issues, the inflammation that you might get from eating some of these foods. So right now, we're going to give you a free bottle with all qualifying orders at stevencabral.com/shop. And yes, this goes internationally as well. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop while supplies last. Take care, everybody. Now, enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me here today on this Cabral Concept episode dedicated to what I like to refer to as the miracle of melatonin. There are just some products out there that can help so many people with a vast array of health issues that it's worth noting those. In the past, you've heard about products like vitamin D or magnesium or omega-3s. Well, melatonin is slowly but surely starting to fall into that category. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody should start taking this product. However, it is worth noting because I'm guaranteeing that you or someone that you know may benefit from temporary or prolonged use of melatonin. So, what is melatonin? Melatonin is a naturally occurring hormone in our body. Melatonin is what gets turned on when our eyes start to see and sense it getting dark. So basically, there's that blue light in the morning. As the sun and the ranges start to change towards dusk, cortisol should start to drop precipitously, and melatonin should start to increase. So much so that by 9:30 p.m., somewhere between 9 and 10, depending on the seasons, of course, you will have your lowest levels of cortisol, and melatonin then can start to rise because cortisol and melatonin are in an inverse ratio. So when cortisol's high, melatonin's low. When melatonin's high, cortisol's low. And that is how we get night and day, a diphasic rhythm. Diphasic just means as humans, we should start to slow down at 6, 7 o'clock at night and stay slowed down until about 6, 7 in the morning. And then 6, 7 in the morning till about 6, 7 at night. That's our 12 hours on and our 12 hours off. We humans, though, in our modern day, don't like to follow this, which is why we burn out so easily. We have symptoms of anxiety, of depression, of irritability, and overwhelm, and brain fog, and low energy, and low mood, and low libido, and all of these things. And much of it is because we've confused day from night and cortisol from melatonin. Remember, bright lights at night prevent melatonin from being produced. They keep the fight or flight and sympathetic nervous system going. So what I want to share with you here today, because I have many podcasts, they're all obviously free, of how to create a great nighttime routine. So why don't we, again, you can always find them at stevencabral.com/podcast. You can scroll through the top, look at the sleep-based ones, because I have a whole category just on sleep. So please do feel free to check those out. But today, let's focus on melatonin. Naturally, you can increase it by decreasing cortisol and also viewing the morning sunlight and then viewing the sun setting at night. That's a nice way to do it. Another way is make sure you stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bed. You don't want all that energy being ramped up if you eat right before bed. You also want to start to turn down the lights in your home or wear blue blocking glasses. I've got a great review for another blue blocker company coming up. Again, I recommend the best companies. Even if Equal Life offers blue blockers, I always recommend the best company. So I'll be recommending another company. Very few people do that. And what I want to share with you is this too, is that you're going to get your best results from an evening routine. Everybody talks about a morning routine, and I think that's great to start the day, but also have an evening routine, an hour wind down as you start to cool and calm the body. Now, one of those things, though, that is going to help tremendously is with low-dose melatonin. Now, I know a lot of people talk about high-dose nutritional supplements and mega dosing and this, that, or the other thing. In our practice, I've been in practice a long time. I've used high dosing, I've used low dosing, I've used moderate, whatever. You always want to try to find the lowest possible dose of a nutritional supplement that works for you to get the desired outcome. So it's lowest minimum possible dose for a desired outcome. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that with melatonin. But what I want to do is share the main reasons why I said, oh, is this starting to turn into the new magnesium or vitamin D or omega-3s, et cetera? Well, here's the thing. We know that melatonin has always been referred to as the sleep hormone, which it does. It helps you fall asleep. There's no doubt about that. So what a lot of people don't know is it does that by actually knocking down cortisol as well. So for me, it's very strange, right? So I had Addison's disease for many years, overcame that, overcame autoimmune issues, overcame type 2 diabetes, overcame a lot. But one of the ways I was able to do that was resetting my circadian rhythm, resetting my sleep. I produced almost no cortisol during the day and just a little bit at night. Well, that's the opposite of what you should do. You should produce cortisol in the morning and then it starts to fall throughout the day. So what I did, and one of the ways that was very helpful, is I started to use melatonin at night, about 30 minutes before bed. But here's the other interesting thing. Yes, it knocks down cortisol. People may not know this, but it's been proven in clinical studies, and I'm happy to link these up. I always back it up with the research. Melatonin, yes, it supports sleep. We know that. It helps amazingly with getting you to sleep and staying asleep. I'll talk about what happens if you wake up groggy or you wake up throughout the night. I'll talk about that. But it has been shown to help reduce seasonal affective disorder and depression. So we know that about 10% of the people, or more, but we know 10% for sure, are affected throughout the world by seasonal affective disorder, leading to lower mood and symptoms of depression, at least during the more winter and darker-based months. Great studies showing that melatonin helps with that. Why? Creates a better circadian rhythm. It's also a powerful antioxidant. I'll talk about that in just a moment with eye health. But for everybody out there looking to boost their hormones, okay, if you lower cortisol, you will naturally boost your sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, DHEA. But it also has been proven to help naturally boost human growth hormone to natural levels without having to supplement with HGH. That's pretty fantastic as well. That means it's going to help with recovery, bone repair, muscle, hair, skin, nails, all those great things associated with HGH. Now, as a powerful antioxidant, because melatonin is a powerful antioxidant, helps with free radical damage, helps with oxidative damage. It may be one of the reasons why it has been proven to help with conditions like glaucoma and age-related macular degeneration. So improving vision and clarity of vision. And again, these studies are done with just 3 milligrams, with no more than 6 months to a year or two of use to get like amazing results. Okay. And again, the results come with most of these studies within the first 6 to 12 weeks, up to 6 months. So we're not talking about long dosage, but people in the studies have continued on and continue to maintain that. Another one, acid reflux and GERD. So gastroesophageal reflux disease. A lot of people suffering with acid reflux. I've been talking about that. There's some great studies. Study with melatonin alone or omeprazole, which is a GERD medication, acid blocker. Melatonin was effective at relieving heartburn and discomfort without the acid blocker. Pretty impressive, right? I mean, that's amazing to see. So why? It's reducing stress hormones, powerful antioxidants, and many other factors in reducing the sympathetic nervous system. So pretty impressive. Those are just some of the big benefits. Acid reflux, depression, human growth hormones, hormones in general, sleep, of course, and then the age-related eye-based vision issues. So how much do you need? Well, most of the studies are done with 3 milligrams. That's always been the standard dose. In our practice, we use 2.5 milligrams, right below the standard dosage. But you can use more as needed. There's studies, many long-term studies, of anywhere between 0.5 to 10 milligrams per day. Contrary to what you may be hearing, there are no good research with long-term detrimental effects of ongoing melatonin. So I just want to share with you that. Now, having said that, in the same breath, you want to use the lowest effective dose. So what that means is this. You take whatever dosage you need in order to fall asleep. If you have insomnia, like I used to have, you need to get to sleep. That's the truth. So I used to take 10 milligrams. But once I was asleep for 3 weeks, meaning like not fully asleep for a full 3 weeks, that would have been pretty impressive. But once I was in a sleep schedule and I fell asleep every night consistently within 10, 20 minutes of 10 milligrams, I reduced it then to 7.5. After I was sleeping for a few weeks with 7.5, no issues, 30 minutes before bed, I put drops under my tongue that equal 10 or 7.5. Once I'm good for 2 to 3 weeks, then I reduced it to 5 milligrams. I was on 5 milligrams for probably a couple years. Then after that, I said, can I reduce it any less and still get great sleep? And where I settled in is about 2.5 milligrams per night. So what I want to share with you is this. Everybody's dosage is going to be different. We have some people in our practice all the way down to 0.5 to 0.1 milligrams. That's basically microdosing melatonin. And what happens is they get the benefit just with that small amount. Now you might say to yourself, well, that's just the placebo effect at 0.5 milligrams. Maybe it is. Honestly, maybe it is at that small a dosage. But the truth is, we know melatonin works. We know how it works. And for those people, if that's what helps them fall asleep at that small a dosage, then why not? There's nothing wrong with that. So the nice thing is if you use a liquid melatonin, you can dose for the right dosage for you. The goal is to, after you're sleeping well for 2 to 3 weeks and you're getting the GERD results or the depression results or the whatever it is, the results that you want, you just continue to try to do a little bit less. And a full dropper is typically 2.5 milligrams. I can't link up the actual one that I use, but you can find it at stevencabral.com/shop and just type in melatonin. Now, keep in mind, you can use any brand that you want. I just recommend looking for a clean ingredients. That's all. But melatonin by a functional medicine company is dosed appropriately because you always want to make sure you're getting the right amount. Now, what if you wake up with grogginess? If you wake up with grogginess, you most likely used too much. Okay, so what you need to do the next night is use a smaller dosage. Now, does it help you fall asleep? Yes or no? You're gonna have to play with that a little bit, right? The other thing is if you're waking up throughout the night, believe it or not, it can be from using too much, not necessarily too little. So using melatonin is a bio-individualized approach. You may or may not get it right the very first time. Most people, I'll be honest with you, most people do great with 2.5 to 5 milligrams with no grogginess or no waking throughout the night. However, if you do get that, you want to go to 2.5 milligrams. And that's why I recommend for most people, just start at 2.5 milligrams. That's going to be the sweet spot for most people where they get the most benefit with none of the grogginess. We also like the liquid because the liquid is in your system faster, gets you to sleep, processed easier into your bloodstream, especially if you drop it under your tongue, you hold it, and then after that, you're able to let it diffuse right into the bloodstream. So it doesn't even need to pass through the liver. So it's in your bloodstream faster, works faster, more effective, and then you don't wake up with all that grogginess. So that's the way that we use in our practice. I think it can absolutely work for you. What if you're sleeping well and you don't have any of these potential health issues? You don't need it, right? Just like anything else. If you don't need it, you don't need to take the supplement. Now, what I want to share with you, the last thing is this. What about for children? What about for much older adults? Okay, for children, you can absolutely use it. We use it with my daughters a couple times. Here's how we do it. If they are changing the sleep schedules, we've been on trips before to Australia, to Hawaii, to the West Coast, and if we want to reset that circadian rhythm, that's what we do. We just give them a small amount of melatonin. How much do my daughters get? No more than 0.1 milligrams. That's all they need. Like literally, no, I shouldn't say that. They use more like 1 milligram, not the 0.1, they use 1. So what is that? If a full dropper is 2.5 milligrams, they get about a third of that dropper maximum. That's about what they get. And that's all they need. Kids respond even faster to it, right? Because they typically don't have as high the elevated cortisol levels. So that helps them get just back on that normal sleep schedule, especially if they're getting back to school. So you do that, that's pretty much the only time. Or if they're not feeling well and we know that they're not going to get a great night's sleep, that might be when they use it. But, we're talking about every couple months. So it's not often that they might use it for a night. Now, in older adults, believe it or not, you stop producing as much melatonin as you age, just like you stop producing as much stomach acid, you don't produce as much hormones, etc. So older adults may find benefit with ongoing use of melatonin. So not just getting yourself into a good sleep cycle, you may actually continue on with it. I know that I will be for sure. So, if you're in your 60s and beyond, your melatonin may not be as adequate. Adding in anywhere from, let's say, 1.25 to 2.5 milligrams a night might be really nice for you. It has potential anti-cancer effects. It has powerful antioxidant effects. We already talked about the vision, improving the circadian rhythm. I think there's a lot of benefits to it. I really do. Just find a good, clean product, clean ingredients from a functional medicine-based company. Again, the one I formulate is for Equilife, but you're always welcome to use your favorite company. Hopefully this was helpful. I will link up all the show notes here today at stephencabral.com/2694. stephencabral.com/2694. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. And before you head off, just make sure you don't miss what's going on this week over at Equilife. And that is our official Start to Summer giveaway. And that is the free dairy and gluten support. We try to do it once a year for summer. It is one of the most popular products all year round, but especially for summer, at least here over in the United States and let's say most of Europe where a lot of our clients are. Because what you can do is you can actually help to mitigate, to decrease a lot of the effects of eating dairy and gluten and even beans and legumes by improving your overall digestion with the enzymes that help break these things down. So things like lactase and DPP4 and cellulase and a lot of the products that the body lacks in terms of digestive enzymes are what can cause the bloating, the gas, the inflammation, the distension, the loose stool. And by using a simple enzyme to help break down the gluten better, to help break down the dairy, the cheese, the ice cream, the whatever it might be, right? Milk-based products, or even beans and legumes. The gluten and dairy support is exactly what helps with that. So what I want to do is I want to share, again, I always have these bottles for barbecues. They're on my picnic table outside, all that. I want to share it with you as well. Get a free bottle this week on all qualifying orders. Head on over to stephencabral.com/shop. That's stephencabral.com/shop for all the details. Completely free on all qualifying orders. Ships all around the world. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing start to your summer.